The Black Hot Fire Radio. That's it. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Kati.
Is this what I mean?
That's it.
I guess to find out how I see me online after telling me you love me. Is this what it has come to? What is this? What are you doing? You know what? Forget about it.
I never feel why your love just enter my eyes. She always a good boy, we go break your heart, we go my jump up. I know all of the ladies, I just see all the things them twice. I know that when I saw shut I want it for you, make you love me, go bam, bam, bam. What shall it be, man? To get you out of my head, what is you? I don't know. What shall it be, man? To get you out of my head, you are like you are. I don't know. Gonna break your heart. If it's a baby, I need a baby to find you up. Baby, I need a baby, no baby, girl, another baby, to lose you.
Yes, a very good afternoon to everyone who is there with us. Karibuni sana to the African Diary Show. Shout out to Uhai Podcast, I see you in the building. Shout out to Chap Comboy, I see you in the building. And to all those who are with me on the radio station, Karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show. I'm hoping that you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. 16 minutes past 2 p.m. right here in Nairobi. Shout out to Davis Dodge Official. Shout out to Ken. Make sure you're tapping the screen. Shout out to Berry B254. I don't know. Shout out to Manu Mamushka. Shout out to Davey. Shout out to everyone who is there with us, and karibuni sana once again. This is the African Diary Show. My name is Katie, in case you're joining us for the first time. And of course, this is the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. And shout out to my silent listeners who are with me on the radio station. I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday so far. So, karibuni sana once again. How are you guys doing? And on today's episode, I want us to discuss different matters coming from the African continent. And in case you're joining us for the first time, you obviously or you don't know about the African Diary Show. The African Diary Show is a show where we get to discuss what is happening to the beautiful continent or in the beautiful continent of Africa. But most of the time, we don't have beautiful things coming from Africa. Of course, this is especially, we have West African countries that we always reporting about bad things coming from it. We also have a country like Congo that is so destable right now that we're reporting deaths every day. But it is so sad. It's not that we actually love to report about that, but we actually call a spade a spade. So it's our work to come and tell you what is happening in these beautiful African countries. But shout out to Love Smith, I see you in the building. Karibu sana. Berry B, I see you in the building. And to all those who are just joining us, karibuni sana. Kindly feel free to interact with me. Remember, we are always live and interactive on our media handles. We are on Facebook, we are on X, we are on Instagram, we are everywhere at Black Hot Fire Network. And you can also download our radio application on Google Play Store. You just have to go and search Black Hot Fire Network application, and then you can get to listen to me via the radio station in case you're there. And also we have amazing merchandise on the application, so it will be a pleasure for you to download the application because you'll get to shop, you'll get to see amazing things, you'll be able to even share some of your content or some of the things that you feel like people should be knowing out there. But anyway, I see also we have Scott Watson in the building. Karibu sana, and asanteni sana for joining me on today's episode. So as we get started on today's episode, I want us to discuss about the crisis in Tanzania. We have a sugar and electricity crisis, and also they have a shortage with the US dollar. Remember last time back we had a shortage with the US dollar in the 254, and we saw the Kenyan government coming up and saying that they are trying, or they were buying the US dollar for its reserves. And this actually didn't age well, because right here we have the Eurobond they were able to pay for the Eurobond, and right now getting paid in dollars and spending money in Kenyan shillings, or spending in Kenyan shillings, is not actually aging well. But for how long? That is the question. And also to all those who are holding their dollars, the plan of the government is just to make sure that you sell all your dollars, and then they will return the currency back to the state it was. So just hold on your dollars. Don't be fooled by anybody. Sell your dollars. To all my traders in the building, make sure you're holding on to that currency. But anyway, we are talking about Tanzania and what is happening in Tanzania. That would be our main focus of the day. And I told you they are experiencing a sugar and electricity shortage, and also we have shortages with the US dollar. And also, as we get to continue, I want us to look at matters on what is happening in Somalia. And this is some amazing news, or something to be happy about, coming from Somalia, because Somalia is aiming to produce its first oil in its history by the end of the year. And this is something amazing. This is something we should be celebrating. But do you think that Somalia will be able to do this by itself? That is the question as well, because at the end of the day, we know very well in Africa, we're very rich. We have so many minerals. We have even mines. We have deposits. But at the end of the day, we are not able to utilize the resources. We have the white man coming and exploiting our resources for us. But shout out to Love Smith and Asema. Hello, sister. Hello to you too. Step, as I see you saying, it will not last. Of course it won't. You can't, you can't try to. It's like you're fixing your economy with a loan. You can't run an economy on a loan. That's doesn't make sense, and that will never work. There's no way you're trying to run an economy with a loan. I feel like this will never work, and this is why we go wrong as African people. But you know, the problem is African people, we don't know how to run our economies, and this is why always we have the white man taking advantage of that and trying to show us how to run our economies, and they actually run the economies for us. Yes, they run the economies for us. And imagine somewhere in China, we have a child being taught about the economy and everything. A child who's just 7 years of age, a child who's just 10 years of age. But look at right here in Africa, what is a child over 10 years being taught in class? It's just crazy, because you utasikia anaambiwa sijui nini, you know, a lot of things that will never help them in life. But anyway, we need better educational systems, because I think that is what will save us. And if we abolish this colonizers' education system, I think we shall be good to go as African people. Or if we establish Afrocentric education, I think we shall be able to go. But anyway, we were talking about Somali and what is happening. We shall go in depth of that later on as we continue with our show for today. And also, have you been wondering why we have too much heat in Nairobi? Have you been wondering? You guys don't notice? Mko na dhambi mingi hata hamwezi notice, you know. But anyway, there has been too much heat in Nairobi, and the reason is that we are nearing the equinox. And when we are nearing the equinox is now we get the sun hits us direct. This is why tunachomeka, unashangaa kwani shetani anakukimbiza usiku. But anyway, shout out to Frida's Media and to all those who are with us, and especially people in Kajiado County and northwestern counties like Turkana. These people, you know, we are complaining about the 27 degrees Celsius, because right now we are at 27 degrees Celsius. We are complaining about that. Imagine these people, they are getting, the temperatures are going high, or to a high of even 40 degrees Celsius. This is just crazy. Imagine 40 degrees Celsius, man, I'd be burning. But anyway, that is just crazy. But also later on, we shall be talking about Namibia, Gaza, and Germany, hypocrisy on genocide. Remember, we've talked about Germany and the atrocities they committed in Africa, and they want to act like we forgot about what they did to the people of Nama and Herero. They want actually to act like we forgot about what they did to Tanzanian people. You remember these people poisoning water in Tanzania? They want to act like we're forgetting about that. I've just remembered about what they were doing to people in Tanzania. Yani, people could just drink water and fall because of the German people. This is just crazy, but we shall be talking about that as we get to continue on our show for today. So make sure you're interacting with me. Remember, we have an active WhatsApp number, 0705 428 388 0705 428 388. We started off our show with an amazing jam. And that was who was that? That was Oxlade, and the jam was Play Me. I hope you get to jam and to it, but I'm hoping to go back to one more jam as I come back with our quote of the day. So in case you're there, kindly feel free to share your quote of the day. Kindly feel free to share your motivative or your wise words of the day that are governing you today. I'm going back to one more jam. Let me see which one, and also get to jam onto this. Let me see which one. And hey, I don't know what happened to my playlist, man. But anyway, this is BN featuring Scam Cardinali Lifestyle. I hope you get to jam onto it. Na cheki kuna mtu ananiambia Tiki Mapesa nasema si unaweza kuwa rapper. What? Why? Nimedu nini? Okay, the speed. Okay, I think I'm taking too much coffee lately. I'm sorry about that. Nikienda haraka tena mniambie. I'm sorry about that. This is BN featuring Scam Cardinali. The jam is a lifestyle. Get to jam.
Para bila pesa pesa kidonda,
Cheki makona kutoka.
wananitanga Maradona, jumuwa kata nikisonga,
Usipandishe mimi boda boda. Hiyo ndio siku ya mwisho utamuona.
usiulize kani ligonga,
Niulize kile niliona. Ai, akimama. Aha.
nakupigana bila muda, vidole mbili weka pisa, hizo zingine weka inside. You know I pull up like a G, shorty ameweza, she's a free,
Hakuna ngati ya free.
nakusamina kali free.
Lifestyle.
You know they love me for the
Lifestyle.
Illuminati, kumbe
Lifestyle.
wanasema ni bangi, kumbe
Lifestyle.
Top G, me the big proper
Lifestyle.
The big image kwa tara.
Lifestyle.
In the club.
My quote of the day says, what is coming is better than what is gone. So you should learn to let it go.
In the club.
Learn to let go. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Philip Kimani. Ama Nikamonya. Shout out to you.
Maisha fiti
Na marafiki ndo jua.
na sichiti kama wafi anajua. Mziki vipi basi vipi nina gangi shikati kitu ndio uone vile kwa maiki na chafua. Kikulacho ndio hapo inakusumbua, tunajua ni bibi yako kimwanika tunaanua. Bigi jasho ndio ndingo utanunua, otherwise piga kanesa na ikikumo unaweza jua. Twende lifestyle kuna kwenye na pamasha. Last time tulikata kuperform Naivasha ndani ya 110 na wapita kaza naska ni kwanga wanted lakini sasa hivi wananitaka Sifanya vile hit song imefanya nipata kitu nisalia. Swali kubwa na kuuliza mimi sharia. Tunasema mjimamia. Sipendi mapicha.
Lifestyle.
Kwa bila filter.
Lifestyle.
Nina feature.
Lifestyle.
Tianuanga mziza.
Lifestyle. Lifestyle.
Sipendi mapicha.
Lifestyle. Yes, welcome back to the African Diary Show. I hope you did get to jump onto that amazing jam. But I want us to get started without wasting little of the time or less all the time we have right here. So as we get started, let's start with the positive news, at least that is coming from Somalia. And this is about Somalia aiming to produce its first oil in its history by the end of the year 2024. And ISIS servers anasema ati kipara bila pesa ni kidonda. For real man, mbona uko na anyways I know pia mimi niko nayo, but anyway, we are talking about Somalia, and Somalia will start producing oil in its territory for the first time in history later this year, said Somali Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Abdirizak Omar Muhammad. And this the first oil is expected to be extracted from fields and in Galmudug, southwest in Jubaland state, and in October 2022, Somalia signed an agreement to develop oil reserves with the US-based coastline exploration. So at the end of the day, this is not actually positive news like we thought, because why is the US-based coastline exploration involved? And we know that this is not going to benefit Somalia at any cost, because at the end of the day, ukishaangalia, we have so many people refining our oil. We have so many people are coming right here in Africa and telling us, we can sign a deal with where I can be refining your oil, I can be digging in and getting your oil from the ground. But you look at now the cost sharing, you look at now what they are offering for you. They'll come and tell you, you just have oil. You don't have means of, you just have oil. And actually, that's it. Ni ukweli. If you look at Africa, ni ukweli, we have oil, but we don't have the means of getting it from the ground. So most of the time, these people come and exploit you because they are only seeing that you have resources, but you don't have the means of getting these resources. So they will come tell you, I have a strategy of getting your oil from you, or extracting the oil from the ground and refine it for you. But what do I need you to do? I'll just get you, I'll give you maybe 20% over the profit I'm getting of this or of this. And look at what is happening. Kuna mafuta tulipata right here in Kenya. It was in Ngamia 1, and I keep on asking myself, kwani hiyo mafuta ilikuwa ya kujipaka? Because nobody has been talking about the mafuta that was discovered in Ngamia 1. But look at it in this way. You'll find that these people in Turkana, we have the Chinese mining and refining this oil that is never going to benefit us. Like in Nigeria, this country is the richest in Africa in oil. It has one of the biggest oil depots or deposits in Africa. But look at the country right now. The country is so unstable. It has economic wars. Why? Actually, the government has been subsidizing on its fuel or on petroleum and products, because we have people who exploit their oil. And we have Shell as one of the biggest company that is exploiting oil in Nigeria. And this is so sad, because now we have African countries with a lot of resources, but what do we get in return? Poverty. We actually export poverty. Yes, these people import from us. They import the resources. They import everything good from us, and we import or we import poverty from their countries. You know, and this is so bad, because why are we so impoverished? While some countries, these European countries, the only thing you can import from their countries is sand, mchanga. But look at them, they are doing so well, so developed out of us. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. But I see steppers anasema, kwanza Somalia tunawaibia sisi hadi employees ni wetu. Imagine. It's so sad with what is happening in African countries. But also nacheki unasema Ngamia 1, it will benefit a certain nation for some years first before handing over. Actually, they will never hand over if we don't have a revolution in the country. You know, they will never hand over. It's just like the way the government is privatizing the resources or the companies with not asking its citizens. Nobody's actually asked. But ukiangalia kwa statistics, they say that 40% or 60%, or they have a percentage of people who said it's okay, which were not citizens. These people were not citizens. Unaona, it's so crazy with what is happening. So I thought this was a very good thing for Somalia. But look at now what is happening. And it's so sad that if this US company, it's actually, you know, if you find that they are looking forward to sign or they signed an agreement with Somalia, it means that it is working in Africa. It has been working in Africa. Some time back, we realized that we have had an oil mining company that is still US based, that has worked in Africa for more than 4 decades. And their work is just to get oil from us. But ukiangalia the profits of these companies, they don't even align with what you're getting as a country, you know. And this is why we will keep on being impoverished. But look at, you know, who is to blame? That is the biggest question, because if we wanted to get our resources, it would be very hard without somebody controlling it. But who is to blame? Who is controlling this? Who is to blame? I think it's the government, and of course it is the government. It's these puppet leaders we call presidents, cabinet secretaries. They are the one giving out our resources. Before Uhuru left, he sold our ports, right? He sold even the dry ports. And you'll hear even, it's just crazy, man. You'll hear the current government blaming so many things on the previous government, knowing very well that this government, the current government, was part of the previous government. And they don't make sense. They just come here with propaganda. Unajua Uhuru alifanya, unajua I'm going to do this. And this is just crazy. And this is why I was telling you guys yesterday, thanking Ruto for lowering the dollar, or for strengthening our currency against the dollar, is just like thanking a rapist for wearing a condom to rape you. I think so, because it doesn't make sense. This guy took a loan, he took a loan from the IMF, and he thinks that this will stabilize the economy, and now his aim is to run the country with the loans. And remember, we have a loan that is due April. What is going to happen? Because I know the country doesn't have such amounts of money. What do you think is going to happen? Man, the IMF might come and say, now I want this company because you're not able to pay me. This is so sad. It is so crazy. But I think it is up to the citizens right now to wake up and just realize what is happening. But anyway, Steppers and Asema, same way, the Lamea farm contract was renewed even after 99 years. And this is just crazy. And Steppers, you are the one who requested me to do a show about the Delamere farms. And there was a time I did it and you were not here. So you should go back to our YouTube and recheck about the Delamere farms. I did a show, a whole 1 hour show talking about the Delamere farms and Lord Delamere. But also you're saying our greedy government, yes, very greedy. They only think about themselves and owning offshores in everywhere but not Africa. But anyway, I see Laza and Asema, good idea. Thank you very much. And welcome Simon as well. And we were talking about Somalia and the idea of mining or of refining or producing fast oil in its history, but we are seeing that this is not going to age well, because at the end of the day they are hoping to make profits, but we have now higher people, or we have higher powers who are going, or who are waiting to make much money than the owner of the oil. So the agreement based on the production sharing principle grants coastline exploration the rights to explore for oil in 7 blocks. Geoseismic studies have shown that Somalia has potential oil and natural gas reserves equivalent to 30 billion barrels. Imagine 30 billion barrels. How much money is that? This is a lot of money. We're talking about trillions. But who is going to benefit from this? It's not Somalia, of course. It is not Somalia. Of course. Look at Sudan. Sudan is also rich in oil. Where is it right now? Man, this country is one of the unstable country we have in the continent. We have Sudan, we have South Sudan. Right now, they are still fighting about Abyei. Remember, Abyei is, as somebody told me, it's not Abyei, it's Abyei. Okay, we have this region called Abyei. It's a border line between South Sudan and Sudan, where we still have these people fighting over border violence, where Abyei is a region that is rich in oil. So if we can't even agree on how to share these resources or on how to benefit from these resources as Africans, why won't the white man come and take advantage of that? They will always find a reason to come and take advantage of this, because you're not even in a capability to sit down and find a way how you're going to benefit from the resources you have. So it's not right for Africans to be fighting over these things. We should come into an agreement. If we find a way to produce this, because I believe if we come up, or if we sit down as African people and come up with the strategies, we can find ways even to produce our own oil without the need of these foreigners. We can. And with that, we are going to benefit 100% and share the profits among us. But look at us. We are always led by ethnicity, tribalism. Tribalism is the main thing. you're like, wewe ni Mjaluo, I'm not going to work with you. Wewe ni Mluya, I'm not going to work with you. That is the problem. That is the biggest problem we have as African people. Also look at now these borders. These borders were meant to keep us away from each other, but now we took them seriously to a point that when I cross that border, I'm not supposed to be seen there. To a point that when you go in South Africa, these people are xenophobic. They don't want to see a Kenyan in South Africa. They don't want to see any other nationalist in South Africa because they think that you're going to exploit and finish all the job opportunities for them, as if when you are not there, they still had those job opportunities. You know, we're also led by greed as African people. This is so bad. It is so bad, and I feel so sad for Somalia because at the end of the day, we thought that this was something positive, but it turns out it's not positive anymore because we know these people are going to take advantage of them. We know it's very clear. Once we have the Europeans involved, there's nothing like business. There's nothing like partnership. You can't do business with somebody who already wants to take advantage of you, and we already know the agenda. These people, they were here since day one. What did they do? Look at the atrocities they committed in Africa. So you want to forget all that and work as partners? How? These people can never be your friends. These people will never be your friends. But anyway, Steppers and Asama, the minister will back his bargain, then lure the main characters like president. Then it's done. It's always like that, man. It is always like that. But at the end of the day, I hope African people will soon realize what is happening to their countries and just wake up without letting go of their properties or of their resources just like that. But anyway, as we get to move on a different conversation or in a different angle, I want us to talk about the Wagner Group. And in case you don't know the Wagner Group is a mercenary group based in Russia, but the Russian government claims that it's not their group. Remember this. But anyway, we started seeing this, or we started seeing the Russia disowning the Wagner Group, but we already know that they are owned by them, you know, but this is a mercenary group. And they have been working towards, or they have been establishing themselves in Africa. Yes, the Wagner Group has been establishing themselves in Africa for the longest time. The first time we saw them in Mali, the other time we saw them where? We've seen them right now in Niger. And I don't think, you know, I keep on telling myself, an enemy is an enemy. Don't think there's a better enemy or a worse enemy. They are all enemies. But Wagner in Africa, yes. And right now they are rebranding themselves. And why? And how are they rebranding themselves in Africa? I'm saying they are trying to rebrand themselves in Africa. But why do you think they are rebranding themselves? But Russia is offering governments in Africa a regime survival package in exchange for access of strategically important natural resources, a major new report has found. Internal Russian government documents seen by BBC also details how it is working to change mining laws in West Africa within the ambition of dislodging Western companies from an area of strategic importance. Do you think that this is going to benefit any West African countries? Of course, right now we have Niger, we have Mali, we have Burkina Faso. These are the only three countries working on democracy right here in Africa, working, of course, with Russia. And we've seen them revolving, and, we've seen a revolution in those three countries that is really working well for them. But do you think that now getting involved with Russia will going to benefit them or will going to hurt them? We are to discover this because we've seen them so far. They are working very well with them, but at the end of the day, I keep on saying a devil is a devil. There is no good enemy. There is no worse enemy. They are all your enemies. But this part of the process of the Russian government taking over the businesses of the Wagner mercenary group broken up after a failed coup in June 2023. The multi-billion-dollar operation are now mostly being run as the Russian expeditionary corps managed by the man accused of being behind attempt to murder Sergei Skripal using the Novichok Nav agent on the streets of the UK, a charge Russia has denied. And this is the Russian statement coming out of the shadows in its Africa policy, says Jack Walting, land warfare a specialist at the Royal United Services Institute and one of the report's authors. Back in June 2023, Prigozhin was probably the most feared and famous mercenary in the world. His Wagner group was in control of billions of dollars worth the companies and projects, while his fighters were central to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. You remember Prigozhin? We suspected that this guy was killed, but we're not sure. They keep on telling us that he died in a clash. But nobody saw his body. So I keep on asking myself, is this man really dead? We don't know. Maybe they're trying to hide something, or maybe they're just trying to do, this is a mercenary group. You'll never get to know. But then he decided to march on Moscow, ostensibly calling for the removal of the defense minister and the head of the general staff, but in reality threatening President Putin in a way no one had before. According to Dr. Walting, there was a melting in the Kremlin fairly shortly after Prigozhin's mutiny, in which it was decided that Wagner's Africa operation would fall directly under the control of Russian military intelligence, the GRU. Control was to be handed to Jen Andre, head of Unit 29155, a secretive operation specializing in targeting killings and destabilizing foreign governments. But since Jen new business was not the stabilizing governments, but rather securing their future as long as they paid by signing away their mineral rights. In early September, accompanied by Deputy Defense Minister Yunus Bek, Jen began a tour of former Wagner operations in Africa. They started in Libya, meeting warlord Gen Khalifa Haftar, and their next stop was Burkina Faso, where they were greeted by 35-year-old coup leader Ibrahim Traore. After that, they landed in Central African Republic, possibly the most well-established Wagner operation on the continent, before heading to Mali to meet the leaders of the junta there. On a subsequent trip, they also met General Salif Modi, one of the military men who seized power in Niger last year. Readouts of various meetings demonstrate that two men were reassuring Wagner's partners on the continent that the demise of Prigozhin did not mean the end of his business deals. Reports of the meeting with the Cap Traore of Burkina Faso confirmed cooperation would continue in the military domain, including the training of Burkinabe officer, cadets, and officers of all levels, including pilots in Russia. So it's I feel like the way they're trying to rebrand themselves, it's just now they're trying to continue with the operation after their leader died. Remember, we had Prigozhin, who they claimed died in an aeroplane crash. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like, this is this I feel like this was all planned, but at the end of the day, what do they want in Africa? You want to mean that these people are not up to our resources right here in Africa? Man, that's a very big lie if you want to believe that, because why would they come to help you? Why would they give you weapons? They want something in return. These people will not just come and tell you, let's be friends, let's be allies, I will be giving you weapons for free. No, they always want something in return. No matter how good the deal is, they will always want something in return. And what are we talking about right here? They want resources. Of course, the Europeans, the only good thing they will get from Africa. Remember, these people cannot survive without Africa. If Africa is not here, these people are not here at all. If we don't have Africa, we possibly don't have other continents. Because these people, they depend on us on everything. So what do you think that these people, the Russians, want from Africa? It's the same things as the other Europeans have been coming from Africa. So don't be deceived that these people are your allies. They might be playing a part in your maybe economy or maybe in your wars, but at the end of the day, this doesn't mean that they are your friends. This doesn't mean that you can trust them fully, 100%. And the way they are trying to rebrand themselves right here in Africa, the article is too long. I'll not get to read all of it, but the way they are getting to rebrand themselves right here in Africa, it means that they want stronger ties with Africa. They are not ready to let Africa go, no matter what happened to their boss. Even without their boss, they still want to continue with Africa. But anyway, I don't know what you guys think, but I think that no matter how the deal is good with these Russians, they still want something in return. But shout out to Kay Williams for saying, what, Katie, did you and Lizzie do a show this morning? Hope all is well. Yes, we did a show. Yeah, we always do a show every morning. What do you mean? But anyway, you're saying trust nobody. We are surrounded by enemies, including within. Very true. And also you're saying Tanzania needs to get rid of that lady president. She is corrupted just like those men, or all puppets. Very true. These people are puppets. Anyway, we're going to talk about Tanzania when I'm about to wind up, because this woman is taking, I don't know, she's leading Tanzania to a ditch. But also I see Steppers is saying Russian government can't keep them away. And of course they can't keep the mercenary. The Wagner group is too strong. This group is too strong. The mercenary group is too strong. So actually it's owned by the government, the Russian government. This is what I feel. But they will come and why do they have ties? Why do they work for them? These people, they are on this mercenary group is owned by the government, the Russian government. It's just that they cannot come openly and say that we own it. And when you start to associate them with the group, they actually say, no, this is just a mercenary group based in Russia, but we don't control it. But of course, nobody will come and say that we control them, we do this. They won't do that. But also, I saw somebody's comment right here. I see Supatunda Music anasema, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you too. And karibu sana. Shout out to Mary and to all those who are with us in the building. And in case you're joining us for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to our channel. In case you are on YouTube, in case you are on Facebook, kindly consider befriending us, or also in case you are on TikTok, make sure you are befriending us on that side. So as we get to continue, let's talk about the hypocrisy in Gaza and German, or Namibia, Gaza and German hypocrisy on genocide. And this this story of Israel and the attack on Gaza has brought us, or it's taking us back to the atrocities that were committed to the African people or to our ancestors. It's taking us back to whatever happened during the colonialist days. And Namibia's response to Germany International Court of Justice intervention on behalf of Israel exposed the former colonial power's inability to learn from its past mistakes. And this is very true. It is very true. These people, but what do you think? Now, you expect the white man to learn from what they did to us. They actually enjoy it. They enjoy it. They enjoy seeing the black man suffering. What do you mean? You expect these people to be sorry about that? They just want to say it for sure, but they are not sorry. They are not sorry. But anyway, shout out to Jerome Mosquito. You came in too late, but anyway, karibu sana. And on January 12th, Germany said it will intervene on Israel's behalf in the genocide case brought against it by South Africa at the International Court of Justice over its war on Gaza. The German government firmly and explicitly rejects the accusation of genocide that has now been made against Israel before the International Court of Justice. The accusation has no basis whatsoever, a spokesperson of German government said in a statement, as it accused South Africa of politicizing a genocide. In a view of Germany's history, crimes against humanity and the Shoah, or the genocide of the Jewish people under the German Nazi regime during the World War II, or the Holocaust. The government is particularly committed to the UN Genocide Convention, the spokesperson added. The announcement, which shockingly suggested Germany has a better understanding to the convention than any other nation due to its responsibility for the genocide that led to its conception, caused a widespread anger across many global South countries that had tied their hopes of bringing an end of the carnage in Gaza to South Africa's landmark case on the World Court. So Germany right now is standing with Israel. And anyway, this is just crazy because I understand where they're coming from, and this is of course, I understand, but I hope their ship is the next one to be stricken by the Houthi fighters on the Red Sea. One country was particularly vocal in expressing its frustration with the disappointment in Germany's intervention, Namibia. On January 13th, Namibia's presidency condemned Germany's shocking decision to support Israel at the ICJ. And also, I'm surprised, but I'm not really that surprised. In a statement published on X, it reminded the world that Germany committed the first genocide on the 20th century in Namibia in 1904 to 1908, in which tens of thousands of innocent Namibians died in the most inhumane and brutal conditions and never fully atoned for this horrific crime. I bet you all remember the story of Nama and Herero. You remember what happened in that country, in Namibia. Those people are still suffering up to date. We have acres and hectares of lands still owned by the Germans. And this was a genocide against the people of Nama and Herero. You remember what these people did to Tanzanians? They used to put poison in their drinking water and people could die one by one. And they are here again supporting a genocide. So this is not surprising because we know them. We know them for their acts. They would do that. They would not even feel any bad by killing people. So I don't know why people are acting surprised, but I'm so happy we have a country that is coming against this and telling them, you remember You don't learn from your mistakes. I know, actually, these people, they feel like they didn't commit any mistakes. These were not mistakes. This is what they needed to do as colonialists. You know, it's just crazy. But in light of its apparent inability to draw lessons from horrific history, the presidency has said that Germany should reconsider its untimely decision to intervene as third party in defense in support of the genocide acts of Israel before the ICJ. Germany cannot morally express commitment to the United Nations Convention against Genocide of truly atone for the genocide it committed on Namibia soil. It concluded that while supporting the equivalent of a Holocaust and genocide in Gaza, in the short statement, the tiny South African nation of 2.7 million people, which was German colony between 1884 to 1919, exposed Germany's comprehensive failure to deal with its atrocious colonial past and blatant double standards about genocide in one breath. Between 1904 to 1908, German settlers systematically killed up to 100,000 Herero and Nama people following a popular uprising of unlawful land seizures and forced labors in what was then known as German Southwest Africa. On October 2nd, 1904, Lieutenant General Lothar von Trotha, the Supreme Commander of German Southwest Africa, issued an extermination notice ordering German soldiers to kill every male in Herero. Yes, this is in Namibia, armed or unarmed, and displace or shoot the Herero women and children. And you're surprised by the same country or by the same people coming and supporting a genocide on the Gaza people. You're surprised by this? These people are murderers. These people are killers, and you're supposed to, you're waiting for these people to learn from their mistakes. Of course, they will never. Although German rescinded the order on December 8, 1904, the settlers had already displaced and killed thousands of Herero people. Von Trotha issued a second annihilation order on April 22nd in 1904. This time, he directed troops to kill the Nama people. As the methodical massacres were underway, German colonizers systematically raped Nama and Herero women and girls, often with no repercussions. Man, this is what happened. In 1985, UN reporter by special rapporteur Benjamin Whittaker concluded that these massacres in German Southwest Africa were a genocide. Of course they were. Of course this was a genocide. Despite the UN's finding and despite accepting full responsibility for the Nazi genocide of European Jews between 1941 to 1945 that claimed some 6 million innocent lives, Germany refused to acknowledge that its atrocities in Namibia also amounted to a genocide for many years. For decades, Germany treated its genocide of the Nama and Herero people, which took place just 33 short years before the Holocaust, as an old tribal and conventional brutality that did not require any official apology, a specific introspection, or meaningful monetary compensation. General Mosquito is saying Africans on the continent don't really know or understand the true nature of Mzungu, except for what they see on television. They don't. Imagine, imagine what these people of Nama and Herero, we've talked about the Nama and Herero people. I even shared videos of what these people went through. But we still have African people who still praise these people, who still see them as good people. This is just sad. It is so, so sad. But also, I'm just wondering how people can be surprised with the with Germany coming to say we support Israel on the ICJ court, or on ICJ case, knowing very well they also committed atrocities, not once, not twice. They killed over 6 million people, and those are the numbers that we're not sure of in Africa. And they still own very big pieces of land in Africa. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. These people are all the same. They are willing to support each other. They are willing to even go against humanity to support each other. It is so sad, but at the end of the day, my people, this is not something to get surprised of. But we actually, man, we actually need to learn from this. You need to learn from this. These people, the people of Nama and Herero, up to date, they have been told sorry for the longest time. But these people are not sorry. People coming to support a genocide, again, they are not sorry. They are not sorry. And this is why Namibia is coming against them. And I'm so happy for Namibia rising this and saying that this is not right. It is not good for you guys to support these people. But at the end of the day, what are we gonna do? There's nothing we can do about this. These are just European people full of bad energy, full of evil thoughts. They just want to finish you. That's who they are. That's who they are. And it's so sad that we have to live with them. It's so sad that they have to exist on this planet Earth that we still live on. But anyway, I want us to head straight to the matters of the day. And this is about Tanzania and the crisis that we're having in Tanzania. Remember, Tanzania is in crisis as the sugar, electricity, and the US dollar are in shortages, and it's worsening every day. This started early this month, but now it's worsening. The situation is worsening every day. But in the heart of Tanzania, a crisis is quietly unfolding, touching the everyday lives of its citizens and shaking the foundation of its economy. As early of early 2024, the East African nation finds itself grappling with a trifecta of shortages that threaten to upend daily routines and business operations alike. The scarcity of sugar, electricity, and the US dollars has forced Tanzanian government and various sectors to take drastic measures. Among these, Tanzanian Sugar Board has had to step in to regulate prices in light of production challenges, while President Samia Suluhu Hassan has dissolved the board of directors of Tanzania Electric Supply Company in a bid to tackle power rationing head-on. We never had problems of electricity in Tanzania, but right now we are talking about power problems in Tanzania. Why? Bad leadership again, poor governance again. The move by President Suluhu to overhaul the leadership of the country's main electricity supplier underscores the severity of Tanzania's power shortage. Frequent power rationing has not only inconvenienced millions, but also posed a significant threat to the nation's economic stability. Massive remittance drop signals alert for Tanzania's economy. Similarly, the intervention by the Tanzania Sugar Board to regulate sugar prices speaks to the production difficulties facing the country. These measures, while necessary, underscore a period of uncertainty and adjustment for Tanzanian, affecting everything from household budgets to the operation of small and large businesses. The dollar drought hits all marketing companies as well. Of course, it has to. At the core of Tanzania's economic challenges is a critical shortages of the US dollar, a situation that has hit the oil sector particularly hard. Oil marketing companies in Tanzania are in a tight spot, struggling to secure dollars through official channels. The scarcity has pushed some to resort to buying dollars on the black market or paying hefty premiums to commercial banks, a practice that is unsustainable as it is indicative of deeper financial woes. These premiums can soar as high as 200 Tanzanian shillings per US dollar above central banks' displayed exchange rate. The Tanzanian Oil Marketing Companies Association has voiced its concern, highlighting the dire implications for the sector and the broader economy. This dollar drought not only exacerbates the cost of importing crucial commodities such as oil, but also places additional strain on a national already facing multiple challenges. But what does Tanzania have to do? Because they already have to, or they need to come up with a solution for this. But you're going to see the puppet president, instead of working on coming up with the solution will be going and getting money, going and getting a loan somewhere. She will go and get us an amount of loan or some cash from somewhere, of which it's a loan. And this will be her solution to the problem. But do you think that this is a solution? Actually, African leaders have been working on short-term solving or short-term mechanisms of solving their problems. Well, they cannot find a long-term way of solving a problem. And this is one of the biggest problems we have in Africa. You're just looking for a short-term way for your problems, but you don't look at the future. You don't look at what is going to happen in future. But the convergence of this crisis in Tanzania calls for innovative solutions and robust policy intervention. The dissolution of the Tanzanian Electric Supply Company Board and the regulation of sugar prices by the Tanzanian Sugar Board are immediate response to pressing issues. So is that resolving the problem? Of course, this is not a way to resolve the problem. This is not a way. But however, the underlying causes, such as a US dollar shortage affecting the oil sector, demand a more comprehensive approach. The situation shed light on the interconnectedness of global and local markets and vulnerabilities that countries like Tanzania face in today's economic landscape. It also underscores the importance of resilience and adaptability in the face of unforeseen challenges as nations seek to navigate through all these turbulent times. It's just crazy, but at the end of the day, what is needed to be done? Get rid of that puppet president. That is the only thing you need to do. Get rid of that puppet president. That is the only answer we have as African people. Your country is struggling economically. Get rid of that puppet president and his cabinet. Your country is struggling to do what? Get rid of that cabinet. Get rid of that puppet president. Because he's not working for you. He's actually working for the bosses. And there's no way you're going to develop with such people. So the only way we're going to develop as Africa is getting rid of these puppet presidents. A person like Samia, just like Kay Williams says, Tanzania needs to get rid of that lady president. She's corrupted just like the other presidents we've had in Africa. So the only thing we need to do is get rid of them. That's the only solution we have as African people. And with that, we come to the end of our show for today. Asanteni sana for being with us on today's episode. This has been the African Diary Show. My name is Katie, and asanteni sana to all those who joined me on today's episode. Thank you very much, Kay Williams, General Mosquito, and shout out to some of these people we have on TikTok. Shout out to Matthew Munyao, shout out to Jack the Ripper, shout out to Hezron Mumilo, and to the rest of the silent listeners. I hope you have an amazing rest part of your day, and I hope to see you later in the streets of Rongai. Remember, today is on Tuesday, where we get to meet with the people in the streets of Rongai. So if you meet me in the streets, kindly don't be afraid of the camera. Kindly say hi to me. Say hi to me. I'm a very good person, by the way, in person. So don't be afraid of me. Kindly say hi. But anyway, kwaherini, see you later, or enjoy the rest part of your day. I'm leaving you with this jam. This is BN featuring Scam Cardinali. The jam is a lifestyle. And kwaherini once again. Maradona. Sipendi bodaboda, hiyo ndo siku ya mwisho tamuona. Niulize kile niliona. Ai, akia mama. Aha. 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 Hizo zingine weka inside. You know I pull up like a G.